Hey guys, my name is Amber. Welcome back to my channel, Amber Reads Romance. Today I am starting my vlog for the next duet that I need to read for Rina Kent's backlist. If you follow my channel or if you're even interested in some of my vlogs, I have been trying to go through Rina Kent's backlist and I'm reading her reading order that's listed on her website. So the next ones that I need to do is the All the Lies and All the Truth duet. I don't really know a lot about this one. I believe she gets amnesia and she wakes up and she has a fiance. I think they're like in college and he hates her. Like that's pretty much all I really know about it. So we'll see how this goes. I'm trying not to go too deep into this one or as many check-ins because I've had really long vlogs lately and I don't want to have to edit or make you try and sit through that long of a video. So I'm going to go ahead and dive into this duet and I will check in back with you guys in a bit. Hey guys, I am back already. It's Sunday. I just had to do our live show for our Buddy Read for March. And then I also wanted to watch the Book Refuge's video for the Romance Takeover Readathon. So I just finished that up, but I've been reading a little bit throughout the day. And I'm already about 50% through. This is a duet. Honestly, I don't know why we're making these. The last one I read from Rina Kent was a duet too, and I felt like it could have been one book. So I think that these are kind of shorter books, and she just split them into a duet. So I don't know why we're doing that. Some of these authors are doing that, so you have to kind of get another book, and it kind of annoys me. But I think this is, yeah, so this book is only 278 pages on my Kindle at least. So it's not that long. So honestly, we probably could have had one book, but enough of that rant. So this book is interesting. I'm not sure how I'm feeling about it yet. Because the hero is a total asshole and hates our heroine. So we have Rina and then Asher. And in the prologue already in this, it was like showing another girl with Rina and they were twins. And they seem like they're like kind of nobody knows about one of the twins, it seemed like in the prologue. And that they were kind of secretly meeting and then people are finding them and they have to kind of split up. And the Rina was like, looks like she was getting taken into this house that they were like had on fire and everything. And the other twin, who that's the POV, it's in her head, is like calling out to her to go to her and she gets hit on the head. And then all of a sudden we wake up to Rina waking up in the hospital. Now this may be a trick. And maybe I'm thinking it's just really too freaking obvious, but it seems to me that this is the other twin, the POV, that this isn't really Rina waking up, that it's the other twin that nobody knew about. But I could be completely wrong. But I mean, she's completely different than how Rina was. And she wakes up in the hospital and she has lost her memory. She remembers certain things, like certain events. She remembers thinking about her mom and all this kind of stuff, but she doesn't remember who she is. She doesn't remember Rina. She doesn't remember Asher, and Asher is her fiance, and he calls her his like little monster or his monster and how he hates her and he owns her and blah, blah, blah. So we got the typical like bully setup here, but there's like obviously a reason that he hates Rina and we don't know why. She is like going back, she went back to live with her guardian, which is, I think, was his dad. So she's like, oh, well then I can't be his fiance since my guardian's dad. And he was like, well, no, you guys have been engaged since before I became your guardian. And he became her guardian when she lost her dad at 18. And her dad was like super rich. And I guess he had some ties to mafia that people didn't know about. And he's like a real estate mogul, I believe. And this guy was his best friend and he took her in. But certain things are being revealed because she was told her mother died in childbirth, but yet she has these flashbacks of like her mom in her head. So what happened there? And then, she's engaged to Asher, but he was like, I believe at Oxford for school, if I'm remembering correctly. But now all of a sudden he's back and he's going to go to this regular school. And they're super rich. And every little thing that she's finding out, once she goes back to college, she's finding out she's like the head cheerleader. She doesn't go anywhere without makeup. She's very surface level, very snobby, very mean girl. And that's not who she feels she is. So she's kind of shocked by who the old Rina is. And to me, it seems pretty obvious, unless I'm missing something. Like, this is the other twin, because she like says certain things. She's like, dude, and they're like, what? Like, dude? And then like she has an altercation with Asher at school, and he's kind of marking her as his, even though he hates her. And he's like kissing up on her neck, and she like moans, and he like stops, and he's like, why did you do that? And she's like, what? He's like, moan. She's like, is that against? He goes, you never moan. So you're just seeing all these like little things of her like not being her old self. She's found out she like did pranks on a girl and just really mean things that she doesn't even like this old person that she was. And so my question is, it's like, if this is the other twin, how did her twin that she loves so much become such an evil bitch? So you're kind of not knowing what's going on. She gets followed by a van. Things are just weird. And then she like goes up on like the roof at school to like just kind of lay there by herself to get away from everybody, and she falls asleep. And then when she wakes up, she's like tied to the pole. She's got like duct tape on her mouth, and she's like hanging over the edge of the building. And so like somebody tied her up and stuff. And so she tries to just kind of let herself go and go down, but Asher saves her, and he's like, who did this? And she's like, I don't know. Like, he doesn't fully buy her amnesia thing, but he's like, I own you and I will make your life hell. She tries to like get like, why do you hate me? And he basically tells her, you took a life, so I will make your life hell. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm about 53% in. It's okay. I just don't, it's like a lot of more of the mystery of what's going on. Not any romance going on here. They barely have any interactions with each other, and they hate each other. Well, he hates her. So I don't know. We'll see what I think. I didn't see many good reviews for this on Goodreads, but I'm trying to keep an open mind. So I will check back in with you guys once I finish this book, and then we'll move on to the second part of the duet. Hey everyone. So I am getting ready for work, and I wanted to do my check-in real quick because I did finish the book last night, and it was pretty good. I'm not fully sure how I want to rate it yet, because it's so hard with duets because it's not a finished story, and you really only got the POV. In this book, you never get Asher's POV. You only get Rina's, and the person G, that's like the secret person that's kind of messaging her and after her and all that kind of stuff. So you never really get an Asher's perspective. So I think the next book is going to introduce his POV. So that should be interesting, because for most of this book, you're dealing with her trying to figure out who she is. She's trying to get redemption because she finds out that she was a pretty horrible person. The old Rina, as she refers to it, like did a lot of bad stuff. And I don't know if I mentioned it in the last one, but she would do pranks on people. One of the cheerleaders, that's like not the more popular cheerleaders, she did like a prank and like had one of the like football guys dared him to like have sex with her, and it totally messed up that girl's life. And she just did messed up stuff. So now she's trying to make amends with that girl who's pretty feisty. But so she's making her work for it. And at the same time, she's also getting kind of attacks happening where she had that thing happen on the roof. And then another time she was locked in a classroom and it was all dark. And she started to kind of have a flashback. She keeps getting these like memories of her and her twin, basically, but she doesn't understand them because she should not have a twin because she was supposed to be an only child. So she's very confused by those. So she doesn't know if it's like her subconscious or actual memories. So she gets locked in that room. She kind of like passes out, and the guy like kind of like suffocates her for a little bit. And then another time she was in the locker room, and this kind of pushes us forward, because at the same time as this is going on, her and Asher have this connection. Even though he's like super mean to her, she's so drawn to him, which I'm like, I don't know why you're drawn to him. He freaking hates you. But they have this connection. They have this chemistry. He's very confused, you can tell, because she's not like the old Rina at all. And he thinks she's playing a game or she manipulating him. And you kind of find out the reason that he hates her was that his sister was like her best friend, like her little tag along, very close. And she committed suicide. And I guess before she committed suicide, she said that Rina like led her to it. It was like Reina's fault. So that's why he has this vendetta against her and hates her. And so you do have a valid reason for him hating her. So I was at least good with that, because I hate and bully romances where it's a really stupid reason. Like, they shouldn't hate somebody for that or be mean to them. But they keep kind of having these interactions. Like, one time, like, she was actually like, they were kissing and she like kissed him back, and he's like, whoa, what is that? Why are you kissing me back? You've never kissed me back. So it's like, you could tell the old Rina they were never really together. They were set up to be engaged by like their father since they were like 15. And so it wasn't like they were ever really a real thing, supposedly. And he's hated her for like the last 3 years since his sister died. So they end up having an interaction also in the locker room. And she was taking a shower and he comes in there and starts making out with her. So they've kind of messed around a little bit. They start to get hot and heavy, but they hear somebody. So he leaves and he's like, I'll meet you out at the truck. We'll finish this at home. And then she gets dressed and she gets locked in. And again, she gets like hit by a guy or whatever. So she doesn't know who's doing this. There's also this like housekeeper's son who goes to like the rival school, and he's like wants to be in the NFL. And so she's wondering, is this the guy that's sending me those messages? Because he was friends with old Rina, and he's like kind of trying to warn her about Asher. And so all this stuff is going on. Eventually, like, she ends up having sex with Asher. Like, they mess around a little bit, and then she goes to sleep, and then they start messing around again, and he like sleeps with her, and they end up having sex. And so the next day she's feeling pretty positive about things. Sorry, my stupid cat. She's feeling pretty positive about things, but then she goes down and everything is like really quiet, and she finds out it's the anniversary of his sister's death. And she goes out and she hears him like basically talking to the grave, his sister's grave, about how like his plan, like he's after her and it's going to happen. And so it's obvious she's like, oh, it was like a revenge plot against me. He's after me for that. And the housekeeper's son had kind of warned her too. He's like, he's never been with you or cared about you ever. Like, it's only been about revenge for him. Like, so that's kind of where it ends in the book. It's like, that's like the cliffhanger. So I don't know. It's just so like, it's like a third of a story. So it's really hard to rate this. I don't think it's horrible, but I don't really get her like connection to him at this point, except for it being like a lusty thing. So we'll see. I might give this 3.5 or 4 stars, just because I wasn't totally connected. I do find the mystery of who she is interesting, so we'll see if it gets any better. But I need to get to work, so I am going to check back in with you guys, and maybe I'll have a better rating once I like read both the books. As once I get like the full story, I think will be a better rating. Hopefully, if we can have Asher redeem himself a little bit here. And I mean, it seems pretty obvious to me that she's the other twin. Maybe she was the twin and they switched places at one point. I don't know. There's something going on with this twin thing, but I don't think she's ever been that old Rina chick. All right. So I got to go. I will check back in with you guys once I get like halfway through the second part of this duet. See you in a bit. Hey guys. So I just got home from work, read for a little bit, and just wanted to give you guys an update on the second part of the duet. This is All the Truths, and I'm about 50% through now, and I don't know, a lot's gone on. I haven't been doing as many updates because I'm trying not to make as long as a vlog, especially since I've been making such long vlogs lately. So, I just kind of want to hopefully make this brief. Hopefully I don't talk too long here, but let's get to it then. So, in all the truths, I keep wanting to say all the lies, all the truths, it kind of picks up basically right after the cliffhanger of her finding out about Asher basically being after her for and blaming her for his sister's suicide. And she's pretty devastated. She kind of like locks herself up in the room for a bit. She's a really dark place. For some reason, she's communicating with that secret guy that kind of keeps sending messages to her, that used to send messages to like old Rina. And it kind of seemed like they hooked up, but now she's like, oh, he's like my friend. I don't know why she would communicate with this guy. He literally calls her his slut and talks about her mouth on his dick and da-da-da. So I'm like, she thinks it's Jason, who is the guy that lives in the house that's like her friend. But it's obviously not him. So I don't know. It just seems really stupid. Because this could be the G guy or whatever, the guy that's like after her and attacking her. Who knows? So anyways, that's a little pet peeve of mine already with her character in this book, but whatever. We have that all the time in books. Too Stupid to Live. It's a thing. But so she finally kind of like gets out of her room, goes out with her friends, goes back to school again. And she kind of comes to the conclusion that she needs to figure out her past. And like the best way to do it, she thinks, is to go back to the scene of the crime where she was attacked and where they found her and everything. So she goes out into the forest to that little cottage where the twins had like met up that you read in the prologue of the first book. And she starts to have flashbacks, of course. How convenient. And she starts remembering everything. And this is where the reveal comes about who she is and the twin thing here. And I was wrong. I was right in a way because she is the other twin, but she's not really the other twin. I don't know. It's hard to explain. So I was wrong with just thinking she's the other twin, Ray, which I've been kind of saying the names wrong. I was thinking it was Rina, but they'll call her REI for short. And then the other one was RAI, but that seems like it'd be Ray. I don't know. I'm probably saying it wrong, but I'm just going to call her Ray and then Raina. But the other twin, Ray, what we find out is that the twins were basically kind of separated because their mother was actually like a Bratva princess, and she didn't want to be part of the Bratva, and she had kind of an affair with their father. And when he finds out, that she's with him and then she's pregnant, he's like kind of threatening his life. So they end up not being together, but they kind of come to an agreement that the father can keep one of the twins, and then the mother would have to take one of the twins back home to, the Pecan, who's like her father, the head of the Russian mafia. But at one point, she basically goes on the run with her daughter, which is Ray. And she kind of is basically in hiding, running from place to place for like years. But he needs an heir, and he wants to leave it to a woman, like his daughter, which his, I think like second in command, some of the family is not okay with. They want to take over, not have him hand it off to his daughter. So there's some conflict there. But he basically is thinking about taking Rina then from her father. And so since that's kind of happening, the mother ends up kind of kidnapping Rina and taking her with them. But they get found by the Bratva. So they get found by the Russian mafia. And the mother basically is like, run, run, run. And the twins go to run away. And the mother gets killed. And in this, when they're like hiding from these guys searching for them, the real Rina is like, I've had a good life. I've been living with my dad in a good home for like 12 years. You've been on the run. Like, you need to run. You need to go and be with my dad and like take over my life, and I will go. And so she kind of like sacrifices herself to like go back to the Russian mafia and everything. And Ray basically runs away and she becomes Rina. So she is actually Rina, but she is really Ray. If that makes any sense. I don't know if I'm doing a horrible job explaining this because it is a shit show. It's like a mind fuck. I keep like reading parts and there's so many flashbacks that you're like, wait, is this Rina or is this Ray? So I was getting myself confused. But once I sat with it a little bit, it all made sense. So Ray, who's now Rina, we'll just call her Rina from now on. Rina basically goes back to the father's place and takes over Rina's life. And that's like when she's like 12. And she, she has an attraction to Asher, but she kind of always pushed him away because she felt like she was a placeholder. And that's why she came off cold and aloof and would like not respond. She wouldn't kiss him, wouldn't be into it with him. And he was like obsessed with her. And he kind of only became obsessed with her later when it's like the new Rina, so it like not, I keep saying things, it's confusing. Once Ray came into the picture as the new Rina, like he became obsessed with her and was actually interested when before they were like just like kind of like best friends. So he's obsessed with her, but she won't go there with him because she thinks she's a placeholder and it's her sister's fiance. So she won't go there. But Asher, you get to see all these flashbacks. He's growing on me and he is obsessed with her. But I'm jumping ahead a little bit. So he finds her after she has those flashbacks, takes her back to her like own condo that she kind of had. And they kind of have like, they basically have a confrontation. She runs out onto like the patio and it's almost like she's going to jump off, which that's what happened with his sister. So he's like freaking out and she just like lets him know everything that she discovered and who she really is and that she's an imposter and all this stuff. So he's like, we need to tell Alex, which is his dad. And then you find out that Alex and her dad, who are best friends, knew that she was really Ray. They knew it, but he was happy to have her again. So all this stuff going on, and we know now from Alex that Ray, the new Ray that was previously Rina, is alive. I think she had like some kind of bodyguard assassin dude that like, I think that's what they were saying. I don't know. This book is like all over the place, but I think the other twin is actually alive and hiding. And so they want to find her, but because they're always going to be in danger. These guys that basically so the twins found each other again. And that's why they were meeting at that cottage. And that's when they got attacked and they think it might be like the father, because their grandfather basically died. And so now they would be the heir. And they're looking for Ray, the new Ray, because she has like a document that I guess it's like only the heir of the Bratva can have, and they need to find her. So it's crazy, you guys. This is the most over-the-top, outlandish, twin swap, like, kind of story. And it's just kind of taking me out of it a little bit because it's just over the top and there's so much that she's doing these twists and turns. And so I'm kind of like, come on, like, I want the romance. Like, this is just a lot of, like, mystery over the twins. So anyways, we get some more flashbacks about like Asher beating the shit out of this professor at one point because Rina was giving him a blowjob and he like beat the shit out of him. And he's like cleaning up, and then his sister comes in and she basically kind of confesses that she's in love with Rina and wants to be with her and like confess her feelings. And he's like, why does it have to be Rina? Like, he's obsessed with Rina. He wants her. She's his. And so he's like, okay, well, you can tell her, you can confess to her. And he's just hoping Rina handles it an okay way. So that's kind of where I've left off here. Him and Rina are living in her condo together because he didn't want her around Jason anymore or anybody else. He's very possessive and wants her all to himself. So I don't know, you guys. This twin thing is just a little over the top, but I'm sticking with it, and we'll see how I feel about this. I don't know. This is kind of like, I don't think it's the best Rina Kent, right? Like duet. It's still good writing. It sucks you in. I can read it really fast, but it's not my favorite of her stuff so far. So we'll see what I say at the end. I'm going to finish the book, and then I will follow up with you guys. And see, I've been talking for like 11 minutes already, and I was trying to do a shorter vlog. So we'll see. Maybe I'll cut some of this out. I don't know. But I will check back in with you once I finish the book. Hey guys, I am looking haggard in bed, but I'm reading, and I started to kind of get the feeling, and I wanted to kind of do an update real quick. I might be completely wrong, but I started to get the feeling that the Cloud 003, the secret guy that Rina's been messaging, I think it's actually Asher. So I think because he did say a thing during sex about, oh no, in her head, she was like, I'm always like his queen or whatever in public, but his slut at private. And she was like, why did I say that? And then I started thinking about he always calls her slut in those like text messages. Then when they were like texting and another thing, they kind of had the same banter. So I'm kind of thinking that this secret messenger is actually Asher. So I don't know. Sorry, you guys. I'm looking a mess right now, but I just kind of wanted to do an update just in case I'm right or I'm wrong. I could be way off. But something's also kind of fishy going on with Jason, where they're trying to figure out stuff going on with him. They're finding out all the stuff that's going on with his sister. Which I'll go into that on my next update more, but well, I guess I'll just tell you. Basically, the sister had confessed to him that she was in love with Rina. Then she confessed to Rina that she was in love with her brother. Sorry, the lighting's probably really bad, but it's late and I'm in bed. And then when she kills herself, she basically tells him how Rina laughed in her face when she confessed being in love with her, which never happened. And then her dying thing was to go after Rina and not to forget. And so it's did she seriously do all this? Since they didn't communicate, they're really bad at communicating to keep them apart. That's pretty psycho behavior. But anyways, I will check in with you guys later. Sorry, I'm looking a mess, but I just had a feeling and I wanted to just feel my thoughts real quick. All right, see you in a bit. Hey guys, so I am actually sitting in my car. I just got off work. I did finish the book last night, but I did need to go to bed. I was already in bed, as you could see from that clip, so I just needed to wait till today. I'm actually waiting to go to the dentist. I'm finally getting my crowns in. I don't know if you've seen me talk about it, but I had a lot of dental work done. It's been going on for I feel like a few months, honestly, because there was lots of different things I had to get done, and it kept adding up. And so just take it from me, don't put off going to the dentist, because then you get to a situation like me where now I have $4,000 of dental work I need to pay off, and that's with my insurance coverage. So it sucks. So I have a lot of payments I have to make to pay this off, but I finally at my last visit, so I'm excited. So let me just go ahead and dive into what I thought of this book. I did actually enjoy this one. I mean, this story is a little over the top and far-fetched and completely unbelievable, but it's okay, So where I left off, shoot, I couldn't even remember the hero's name for a second here. What was his name? Oh my god, I can't believe I forgot his name already. Okay, so Asher, duh. So where I left off is, we found out Asher was really the guy that was messaging her this whole time, and you kind of find out that they had kind of had this secret kind of relationship almost, where they were both like not addressing that it's him, because she was always pushing him away because of her sister. And so they like kind of had rendezvous, like faceless hookups, like started at like a Halloween party kind of thing, and they would meet up at a hotel and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of what's going on there. When they were at the hotel, they kind of get it on, obviously, and kind of talk things through. And she gets a call from Jason's mom, and she's like, remember that that USB drive I gave you? Like, you need to watch that video. And so, and she had been like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, about what my son has done kind of attitude. And so she watches the video, and it ended up being a video of Jason and Asher's sister. And Asher's sister was going off about how dumb they are and how she was able to like turn them against each other and how it was so easy and all this kind of crazy stuff, and like kind of planning her suicide to fuck them up even more. And so this girl was just really psycho, a little over the top and unbelievable, and like Jason was in on it. So Asher actually walks in and sees this whole video, and he's kind of devastated because, he's really treated her horribly, and like he always loved his sister so much, and he kind of became like the father brother all in one, because their father wasn't really present with them. And so like he made so many sacrifices and all this revenge plot against like the person he loved because of the sister, and she was a liar and a manipulator. So they end up, I can't remember what happened next, but I know she ends up getting kidnapped by the Russians. And so now she's being held. She literally gets the shit beat out of her. They're almost like torturing her, wanting to know where her sister is, because they need her sister and the documents that she have to be like the heir of the Bratva. And so then Asher has to like kind of go find her, but they end up getting help with like the sister's right-hand man that's like assassin dude, and they all kind of go save the day, save her and everything. And so they end up together. The sisters kind of have they're reunited, and the sister basically had told her like, no, I'm not Rina anymore, like you're Rina, you couldn't handle this mafia life. Like she's basically gonna be in the mafia, the Bratva. So she kind of goes off with her man, which I'm guessing she's gonna have a book with that assassin dude. I think that's probably gonna happen down the line. And so Asher and Rina are together, and they've resolved all their issues. And so I really liked it. I did think it was over the top, the whole twin thing, the whole twin swap, the whole Bratva, all this, the crazy over the top villain sister. It was a little much. So this isn't really my favorite Rina Kent, but I still enjoyed it. Her writing is so easy to get like hooked into. So I still enjoyed it. So I'll probably give this one 4 stars, because I did start to really like Asher, and you could feel his obsession with her and how devoted he was to her. And so I started to really get behind Asher. I just had a problem with like the whole plot and twin stuff, and I don't really like, the amnesia trope very much. It doesn't always work for me. So anyways, sorry, this video might be a little choppy or weird because my phone was overheating. It got really hot in San Diego today. So anyways, thank you so much for watching this. If you can, please like and subscribe. Leave me a comment down below if you've read this duet and what you think of it. I'm excited to continue on my Rina Kent journey, and I will see you on the next one.